Grant.
Yeah, Bobby?
Today on our VLearning, we're gonna show you how to do a Walking Dead intro that looks something like this. Wow, would you look at that, Brent? That was pretty cool, huh?
That was pretty neat.
If you're like me and Brent, you watched the first few seasons of The Walking Dead and loved it, and then hated the last few seasons.
And then they turned into a burning dumpster fire that is now the current love to hate it Walking Dead.
Exactly. But dumpster fire or not,
we
can all agree that it's got a pretty cool intro, right?
It's pretty cool, I'm not gonna lie.
Let's dive into our computer here, and we'll show you what we got. We need a few things here.
Okay.
So let's take a look at what we've got. Luckily for you guys, Brent and I have provided a link in the description below to a Dropbox where you can actually download all the files that we're going to be using for this tutorial for free.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Hopefully we remember to do that before we release this.
Oh yeah, that'll be interesting. And we've got a few different things. So let's take our view and we'll make it large so you can see what we've got here.
Yeah, we want to see those icons. We want to know what we're working with here.
So first thing you're going to need is the music. So we've created our own little intro song here that sounds similar to the real one.
Okay.
Very short, very concise. And the next thing that you're going to need are some shots. So we took the liberty of going on video blocks and taking some abandoned landscape shots.
I think we plugged them before, but if you are a video editor, Video Blocks is a really cool little handy tool to have for some great B-roll and stuff.
Video Blocks is great.
There are other ones out there too that do a similar thing, but we like Video Blocks, so check it out if you're interested.
That's what we use to search for our files. So we have 3 Video Blocks videos here, and we're going to drag those in.
Cool.
So once we've dragged our videos in, we are now going to take our still images, and we've got a few different ones here. We've got a background, and we've got some particle overlays. So let's just drag those all in.
Gotta have them particles.
So now we went through all the materials that we need. So we're going to drop in our video of the abandoned, deserted building.
Yes. Oof.
Let's drop that in.
Desolate.
So now what we're going to do is we're going to drop in our music. So we're going to start this off by using Premiere to block out our 4 different sections of the intro here.
Okay.
Let's zoom in here and let's listen to what we've got.
Ooh.
So that's going to be the first section right there. We're going to break this up. So let's cut that there.
Okay.
And let's listen to the other few sections.
So we're cutting to the music here.
We're kind of cutting to the beat.
I hope you guys have some rhythm because we're cutting to the beat.
Yeah, you better have rhythm. If you don't have rhythm, you can't do this.
Yeah.
So let's find out where our next stop is going to be.
Nice.
And I think it'll be right about there.
That is a real creepy shot. See, look at that. Look at what Video Box can give you. Look at how creepy these shots are.
I'm impressed.
No, you would have to go to like some abandoned like mental hospital or something and get these shots, and then you'd
probably you'd
get murdered by Cropsy or something.
Or step on something you don't want to step on.
You don't want to get murdered by Cropsy.
No, of course not. So let's take a look for where we're going to put our last section here.
Okay.
So it has that nice little bum
at
the
crescendos
end.
there at the end. That's nice.
And that we're going to drop in our wiki background that we have downloaded here. And that's going to basically be the background of our final title. All right, guys, so now that we've done that, we are going to break this up into 4 different After Effects compositions. So the way we're going to do that is we're going to right-click on our first video here, and we're going to replace with After Effects composition. So we're only going to select the video because we don't want to bring our music into this.
Yes, leave the music out of it.
So we're just going to focus on the visuals for now.
Yep.
So we're going to save this After Effects file, call it The Walking Grem.
Nice.
And we're going to save it. And as you can see, it opens up this composition here.
Cool.
So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to take our video here and we're going to add some lumetri color to it.
Of course.
So let's do that. We're going to go into our effects and presets.
We do have a tutorial, by the way, on lumetri color that you can check out. Maybe we'll throw
check
it up
that out.
top here in the cards.
Yeah, we got a lot of cool stuff in Lumetric.
We got a lot of cool tutorials for you guys to check out. Not only are they cool, but they're also cool.
Cute.
They're
Cute, and they're cool.
I can't speak words because reasons. Because I'm just so spooked by this intro we're about to make.
Oh yeah, it's pretty scary.
It's got me shaking in my boots.
So let's go into our looks here, into our LUT looks, and we'll take a look at some of the LUTs that we are going to be using for this. So I'm going to select Matrix Mars.
Ooh, yeah, that feels very Walking Dead.
Yeah,
it's got that kind of bleached out.
Yeah,
it's kind of desaturated, but also kind of green. You know.
Yeah, that kind of like
grungy.
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
grungy, kind of dirty looking,
now,
down and dirty.
You can choose whatever LUT you want in this. There are a bunch of them. We're going to save time and choose SL Matrix, but take a look at the other ones and see which one you like.
Play around.
So we're also going to raise our faded film a little bit because Walking Dead is like that, and they like to have a little bit of fade. And we're going to go to our basic correction, and we're going to turn the temperature up just a little bit.
Okay, all right, yeah, here we go.
Don't turn the tint down, that looks awful. And we're going to turn our contrast up a little bit too.
Sure, yeah, you got to get those darks and those highlights up.
Oh yeah, and then we're going to take our shadows and we're going to turn our shadows down. So now we're going to take our saturation and we're going to lower that just a little bit to desaturate just a tiny bit.
Just a little bit.
Because we don't want too much desaturation. So I'm going to say that maybe somewhere around 78. All right, guys, so now the next step is to add our credits, our title credits.
Yes.
So we're going to start by adding Brent's name here.
Okay.
So basically, we've gone online and downloaded a font called Dead Kansas. And let's just type in Brent's name. Let's select our color, and I like to take a tone from the actual video itself.
Okay.
So we're going to take our eyedropper tool, and I like selecting that black right there. Now it's not a perfect black; it's more of a brown.
Yeah.
But that kind of makes it fit in with the video a little bit more.
Becomes part of the scenery.
Now we're going to take our text and we're going to change the font, and we have provided a link below to where you can get this font. It is called Dead Kansas.
Dead Kansas.
And it's essentially a Walking Dead.
Yeah, you can see how it's got that grungy look to it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So there it is. So what we're going to do is something that we've done a couple of times before, and we're going to basically give you a card up here on how to do this. It is motion tracking. So we're going to do a motion track to this little wheel rim object right here, and we'll be right back after these few messages. Alright, so we've added our motion tracker to this wheel, and as you can see, it follows it nicely across the video.
Yes.
And so now we're going to go back to our regular composition, and we're going to create a new null object. And let's just move this null object right over our Brent Godin text. And let's take our Brent Godin text, and we will create a parent to the null layer. So now if we move the null, it'll move the Brent text.
Cool.
So let's go back to our track here. And if we select our motion track and edit target, we can then select our null one, hit OK, and then apply dimensions X and Y. And now what it has done is it has created the null object to move and track with that little wheel here.
Pretty cool.
So the reason we created a null is so that we can now take our Brent Godin text and move it wherever we want, and it will stay stationed.
Whatever we want.
And now it won't move the null layer. So now if we look here at the tracking, that will stay wherever we put it for our text. So you can see that we've got this nice...
the spider that just came down onto the keyboard. We literally just had a little baby spider just come down right onto the keyboard in the middle of the tutorial.
The next step is to add our sort of grungy layer over top, like The Walking Dead does. So let's go back into our folder, and we're going to select a few different items here to drag into our After Effects. So the first one we're going to select is one of our particle layers. So we'll grab this particle still layer, we'll drag that in. And then we're going to select this noisy black texture. All right, so we've done this section here. Let's take everything we've done so far,
Yeesh.
and we're going to pre-compose it,
Yes.
and we'll call it background video. Okay?
Background video.
And now we're going to take the noise that we've dragged into our project here,
Yep.
and let's drag it right on there. Now, let's take our still particle layer, and we'll do the same thing. We'll just drag it right on there.
Okay.
So here's where the tricky part comes in. Ooh. We're going to turn these all into 3D layers.
Oh boy.
So let's select our 3D buttons right here.
I'm bracing myself.
These little nodes. Let's turn on our 3D layers. And let's create a new camera.
Whoa.
Just select the 50 millimeter.
So, okay.
Okay.
I'm going with it. All right, here we go.
So now if we take our C key on the keyboard and move our camera,
What?
you can see that there's a 3D layer thing going on
Our
here,
whole
right?
life is a lie right now.
So what we're basically going to do, I'll show you sort of an example. We're going to select all of our layers, and we're going to hit our P key on the keyboard and bring up our position.
Oh, sure.
And now I'm just going to show you this as a quick example of what we're going to be doing, just to illustrate what we're going to be doing here. We're going to take our Z space, which is the position all the way to the right that's set at 0. And I'm going to move this layer up by dragging it back. And we'll move this layer up a little bit by dragging that back. So now this is just to illustrate what's going on exactly.
Oh, look at the space between.
We have
Dave
these
Matthews style.
3 different layers here. And we can move around with our camera and look at this. So basically, we're not going to be using our camera necessarily for this. This is just to show you what's going on here. So let's delete our camera so everything's back to normal. And we'll move our positions back to 0 for now. So now we're going to take our still and we are going to position it forward in our Z space.
Oh,
and you can
geez,
also
okay.
select this little blue tool here and move the Z
Okay, yeah,
space.
in the middle between the green and red arrow. Yeah, I see
Exactly.
that. Okay.
So let's move it way up here. Way up, so it's way in front.
Okay.
And now we're going to hit our S key on the keyboard and we'll scale it down so that it's back to sort of a normal size.
Okay.
But now it's still in front in Z space. It's just
Yes.
smaller now.
Sure. Okay.
And
Interesting.
now we're going to take our mode, our blend mode, and we're going to set it to screen.
Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah. You see all those little particles now.
Yeah.
Almost looks like a little lens flares or something. Like it's the dust or something.
Exactly,
Yeah.
little particle dust, like
That's
apocalyptic dust. And we're going to do a very similar thing to our other layer here, our grunge layer.
Our noisy noise or all that little noisiness.
Our noisy noise. So we're going to move our position up, but we're going to make sure that it is less than the top layer here. All right, and now we're going to take our grunge noise, and we're also going to set that to screen.
Nice.
So here we have this very Walking Dead looking screen type thingy. Okay, so now that we have our layers here,
So grungy.
let's go back and create a camera again.
Okay.
So we have it ready for real this time. And we'll call this camera 1, and we'll select OK. And now if we hit our C key, you can see this really separated layers here.
Yeah.
So what we're going to do is we're going to grab our camera tool and we're going to drag down to our Track Z camera tool.
Interesting.
So now if we push forward and back,
what just happened? Oh my goodness.
look at that, right?
That is
See that?
so cool.
So you can see that we've got this
Yeah, it looks like everything's moving forward at you. That is awesome.
forward
that
and
looks
back
so cool.
look here.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
All right, so
I'm legitimately excited about
yeah, so this is going to look really good.
I
So,
haven't felt this level of joy in years. I've been such a hollow, dead shell for so long, and I actually feel a little excited right now. This is crazy.
okay, so now all we have to do to get this to move the way we want to do is we're going to select our P key while having our camera layer selected.
Okay.
So we're going to select our position on our camera, and now any point in the timeline that we move to, if we change the position using our camera tool, it will then change that position in the timeline. All right, so we've got our camera moving in here. You can see the different layers. It's making it look a little bit more 3D.
Yes.
So we're going to take our camera position, and we're going to select the left number here, and we're going to click and drag to the right. And what this is going to do is it's going to create a bit of motion with the camera so that things are looking a little bit more realistic.
Right, because we have our video clip that's moving, so we also want our particles to move in a similar motion with the camera.
Yeah, with the camera,
Yes.
exactly. So now let's take our final node and we'll drag it all the way to the end, and let's take a look at our final result here. Yeah, I think that looks pretty good.
I like it.
And that's basically how you do that section. So now let's go back to our Premiere file. And as you can see, once you save the After Effects file, it updates then in Premiere.
Oof, look at that.
Okay, so now we're going to drop in basically the same effect on our next two sections of the video. And we've already gone and done that, but basically you're going to want to do what we just taught you again.
Right.
But
you apply all the same principles, but just to these different sections.
Exactly.
No need for us to necessarily go into full detail again,
Yeah.
since you already saw it. You already know how to do it now.
Yeah, you know,
So now
you're
it's
an
up to you.
expert.
Now it's up to you how you want to do it.
Exactly.
You know? It's
All
up-
right.
You just be creative.
Well, good luck, guys.
All right.
And we're going to skip to the end title now,
Yes.
where the text pops up on the
Yes.
screen. So let's jump right to that. Okay, so now we're going to our last section of the video here. And we're going to do the same thing as before. We're going to right-click and replace with After Effects Composition.
Cool.
So now this is a little bit different than what we just did. We're going to apply the same tools that we use for 3D and particle overlays as the last effect.
Okay.
But we're going to be using some one more particle layer than before. So we'll drag in our Stardust particle layer. And now we're going to quickly do what we did before and drag all of these particle layers in and set them as 3D layers. All right, guys, so we've just done our little 3D layering here, and now
Cool.
we've created our camera just like before. And
Nice.
if you go back, you can see the different layers here and how they, move at different spots.
Yeah.
Now, that's a really cool effect, in my
Yeah,
opinion.
it creates this. It automatically creates this like perspective effect that you normally get in real camera, which is cool.
It's this depth.
Yeah, depth of field, if you will.
So now we're going to take our background layer here, and we're going to retitle it BG for background, and we're going to title everything just so we are organized, because I like to be organized. And now we're going to take our background, okay? Ready for this?
Yes.
We're going to right-click, pre-compose, and we'll just say, call it background again.
Okay.
All right, now we're going to select this pre-comp, and this is where we're going to do some lumetri color as well as text adding.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
So
all right, I like it.
Let's take the Walking Dead text, or in this case, the Walking Dread. All right, we're going to use this as a reference point to kind of like use to figure out what we're going to color it and stuff like that.
Sure.
So first thing we're going to do is we're going to do our lumetri color. So let's take our lumetri color, we'll drag it onto our background, and we'll go to our basic correction. So now we're going to take our temperature and we're going to raise it, give it a little bit more of that
some heat
feel. And you can play with this around to make it however you want to make it. So that's looking pretty good. Now we're also going to use this reference for our text. So let's create a new text layer. And we'll just separate this into 3 different text layers. We'll make that white so it's easier to see. We'll say the, and then we're going to Control D or Command D on the Mac to copy the layer and paste it. We'll say walking, and then we will do another one, and we'll call this one Grem, because that's our version of The Walking Dead, the Walking Grem.
Walking Grem.
And the reason we're separating this into 3 different layers is because the text is going to appear at different points. And we'll make it a little bit smaller so that we can allow for some zoom space. And let's zoom in here, and we'll move this right above the A. Now that's looking pretty close, I think. What do you think, Brent?
I think we're on the money.
And we'll create a new null object, and we'll parent all 3 of our text layers to that null object so that if we need to move anything or scale anything, everything is scaled to the null object. So let's actually shrink it a little bit. just to use that to our advantage.
Okay.
All right, it's looking pretty good. Let's take a texture that we left in our Dropbox here, and we'll drag that in. And this is sort of a old, you know, paper, grungy, vintage paper texture.
Yeah, okay. I see it. It's almost like a treasure map paper.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's very treasure mappy.
Papyrus.
So let's move that. We'll scale it down, and we're basically going to fill in our text layers with this. So the way to do that is by dragging it, and we're actually going to copy and paste it 3 times. Now let's take our top one here, and we're going to go to our track mat layer. And if you don't have that, all you do is right-click, columns, and then modes, and your track mat layers will come up. So we're going to track mat, alpha mat, the. And you can't see it right now, but what has happened is it moved the background to be filled in with the text.
Oh, there it is. Cool.
Now let's do the same thing for our other text. And remember, to have this done, you have to make sure that the fill color that you're using in the background is right below your text layer.
Gotcha.
And you can do this with shapes as well.
Shapes.
And we're going to do that there. And then we're also going to do it with Grem. So let's drag that above, right below Grem, and alpha mat, Grem.
Boom. Wow.
So there we have it. There we have our text.
Very nice.
And now we are going to go in, and we're going to stagger our text so that it enters at the right times. So it's going to start with the. We're going to start with nothing, actually, for a frame. And then we're going to move it to Grem, and then walking. Let's actually move this in the layers that they're going to go so we can see it visually. So let's see if this works. It's too fast, right?
Yeah, it's like back.
So we can move these around and change them the way we want them to stagger in. So I think that's maybe a little bit too quick.
Yeah, it's getting closer. But...
It's getting closer. It's almost there. There we go. I think that's looking
pretty good. I like that.
Now, you can do that however you want. We're going to choose this, but it's got that nice ba, ba, ba. It's got that nice rhythm to it. Okay, now let's go back to our linked composition with our layers here, and we can get rid of our reference because we don't need that anymore. And now let's hit play and see what it looks like. Okay, that's looking pretty good.
What else can we do to this?
Now, what we're going to do is we're going to do what we did before with our zoom layers.
I'm pumped about this.
So let's hit our C key on the keyboard, which will bring up our camera.
Cool.
And if we zoom in, we can just take a look at what this is going to look like, which is looking really cool.
I really like the zoom in effect on this one.
So let's hit our P key while selecting our camera layer. And let's bring our keyframe to the beginning. And we'll start zooming in. Okay? So that by the time it gets to the end, we have this nice zoom in effect.
Nice. That looks really cool.
Yeah, I'm liking
it.
One more thing that I want to do here is I want to take our top particle layer and I want to go into our effects and add a camera lens blur, because you can see the pixels and it's a little bit in the way. It's kind of distracting to me. So if we add a camera lens blur, you can see it really creates this nice, realistic looking blur to it.
Yeah.
That makes it look even more real.
Yeah, it's nice. Softens it up a bit. Yeah, that's cool.
And then we can, if you feel like it, we can then take the blur radius and make it add some more blur to add more depth as the video zooms in. Okay? Which will add a lot more depth to this. So if we play it now, you can see
we've
got a lot of depth going on.
That's cool.
There. Yeah, I think that's looking pretty good, Brent. What do you think?
I think we did it. Or I watched you do it.
Well, now you know how to do it. So
now I know how to do it. Cool.
So we're going to render that, and we'll have our full intro video there for you guys to check out. And hopefully you stayed along with us through this long-ish tutorial.
Yep. Long but worth it.
Long but worth it, because I think that this is a very powerful tool using the 3D camera.
Yeah.
And learning how to use it is important because you start to think about After Effects in a different way once you understand 3D.
When you start thinking in 3 dimensions instead of 2, you're in the future.
You open up a whole new world.
Escape into the future.
A whole new plane of existence, guys.
Exactly.
So let's take a final look at our result, and that's the end of this tutorial. Thanks for watching, guys.
Yep.
Here we go. All right, guys, thanks for checking out this episode of VLearning.
You made it. We did it.
Oh, that was a tough one, huh?
Are you still here, Kim and PJ? Are you still watching this?
I doubt they're here still.
I would hope that they left by this point.
If you guys stayed, we really love you.
Kudos to you guys. Yeah. We appreciate it.
And we appreciate you either way.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. It's not contingent on you somehow suffering through this whole episode, but
if you did watch through it, let us know in the comments below, and we'll send you a Starbucks gift card. I'm not kidding.
We're committed to. Okay, sure. A little secret Santa thing going on. Is it not so secret?
Yeah, but this is only for this. By the way, this is only for Kim and PJ.
Yeah, Kim and PJ specifically. This offer is extended to you guys. Yeah. So, all right, we're committed. We are committed to this bit now. All right. I like it.
This is commitment right here.
And you'll have to send us like an Instagram post to like what you got with that gift card. This is like some social media magic here.
It's called B&B Perks.
B&B Perks. He's been Bobby.
I've been Rick.
Ooh, and he's been Rick.
And he's been Carl.
Oh, I'm stuck with Carl. I mean, I do have the hat.
Your decision to be Carl at the beginning.
That's true. I know.
Rant.
Yeah, Bobby.
I didn't want you to be Carl.
I know, that's true.
I thought you were gonna be Daryl or something.
Yeah, that's true. I could pull off Daryl a little bit. Yeah.
You get the season 1 hair, Daryl.
Yeah, it's not quite long enough to be this current Daryl, but that's okay. I'm a man of few words too.
What do you think, Daryl? Sound like I have laryngitis.
There you go. That's Daryl.
That's Daryl for you.